Welcome to the Bariatric Nutrition Coach podcast, where we empower you with weight loss surgery, nutrition knowledge, mindset advice, and inspiration so you succeed in your weight and health journey. I'm your host, Jane Stoltz, and I am a bariatric dietitian who has helped over 1,300 people on their weight loss surgery journeys. I'm also a solo mum, lover of long walks while listening to podcasts, partial to a glass of wine, and the ocean is my happy place. Join me as I dive deep into bariatric nutrition and lifestyle topics and deliver them to you in bite-sized, palatable episodes every Monday. Now let's go. Welcome to this week's podcast, where I'm going to talk all about eating after having bariatric surgery over holidays, and we're going to talk about the strategies to keep on track and be confident managing your eating after your weight loss surgery over the holiday periods, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas, no matter what the holidays are for you. And first, I wanted to share a poll that I did on this topic in my Facebook community. I have a wonderful Facebook community, and if you don't know about it, you're very welcome to join. The link will be in the show notes of the podcast. And sometimes I do polls in the community for people a way of sharing thoughts, what they're struggling with, their experiences. And the title of the poll was, what's the most stressful thing about the holidays after weight loss surgery? And I had 4 options in this poll, and I'm going to go through those options, and then I'm going to tell you which option was the most voted, or people did the biggest response to this option. So the first one is the parties that need to be attended. That can be stressful. 2, family gatherings. 3, loss of structure over the holidays. And number 4 was extra temptation. So you may want to guess, which one would it be for you? And just so there's no right or wrong answer, it really is around what's most stressful for you after having weight loss surgery over the holidays. But the answer out of those 4 that got the biggest response was extra temptation. So it's not surprising really, because routine and schedule help us keep on track and help reinforce habits and help us remember to do certain behaviors. So when we go out of schedule and when other temptation foods and treat foods and holiday foods come into our world, when they're not normally there is that extra temptation. I've got 3 steps or 3 strategies to try that you may want to bring into your eating over the holidays to make you feel more relaxed, more stay on track and feel confident. And just right off the bat, let's just say it is not about going through the holidays and not touching any treat food or any of that celebration food that you really enjoy, because food is a part of celebration. There's so many emotions that we get with food, and having some of those treat foods on that certain day or with family is really a wonderful thing. In my family, we have Quality Street chocolates in bowls on the table on Christmas Day. Bowls of Quality Street chocolates. Yes, I'm one of those annoying people, and I go in there and I find the ones that I like, because I've got certain ones and I know exactly what they are, the ones that I really like, and I find some of those and eat those, and I will eat those and feel really Christmas. It's part of Christmas. I just don't eat them any other time of the year. They don't really get bought by my family. My mum always buys them, and that's something that really says Christmas to me. But yeah, it can be other things, and there's obviously other things on our Christmas table that are very much around Christmas as well. But let's just right from the word go, this is not about getting through a holiday period with total denial. We're going to talk about how can you go through and enjoy your holiday and feel good. That are 3 things that I'm going to work through. Really take into account the fact that the holiday periods bring extra challenges and extra stress. And we're going to go through those now. And as I lead into them, my main message that I wanted to share in this podcast is that we want to keep things simple, listen to our body, and be light about the holidays, be light about our eating, and take away that fear. That's my goal for you, is to take away fear and stress. And when I say fear, it's fear of like overindulging, or if you eat too much on a meal, then you've done everything. It's that all or nothing thinking. My whole diet's off. I've ruined the whole thing. It's only one meal. We need to keep that in perspective. So let's launch into my 3 tips, and I'm going to go through them one by one and then really explain why they are so powerful and can be really valuable to keep and focus on. And I've got 3 things. You may find just 2 enough and what you want to focus on over the holidays. It's not about doing 5 things, 10 things. It can be just about doing 1 or 2 or 3. And for most people, it's 1 or 2. But I wanted to bring, the 3rd one is really important. Well, they're all important, but what I mean. Number 1 is to keep your eating schedule. And yes, if you listen to me all the time, I bang on and I talk all about eating schedule. And the reason why I've got this as number 1 is what happens when we go out of our normal routine. And some people do this every week during their working week. It's eating regular. Weekends, everything goes out. And then they get back onto their eating schedule on Monday. In my coaching, I work with my clients to stay on roughly a schedule over the weekend. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but we want to be eating regularly. And we want to do that through the holidays. I'm going to explain why. You might use reminders, buzzers, things that help you eat regularly. If you're going out and visiting family, traveling in the plane, train, car, however it is, we want to be taking things with us so you can eat regularly. When your eating starts to become irregular, 1, you're not going to reach your protein goals. 2, the next time food's in front of you, you're over hungry, you're starving, it's so hard or impossible to eat slowly, appreciate your food, and stop when you've had enough. You're vulnerable to eating too much of the high energy foods. We're going to have some, but we don't want to have too much of them. We want to be able to eat them slowly, enjoy them, no guilt, celebrate, great, and move on. So eating schedule is super important. And the holidays throw people out. You can be getting on a plane and going to somewhere else in a long car trip to see a family member, or just all over your city visiting people and all of that. So we want to make sure we're eating regularly. So tip number 2 is talking to you about how to integrate and have some of your favorite treat and celebration foods and not overdo it. So I'm going to paint a picture for you. You go to a friend's house or a family's house and there's a lot of people, there's lots of people chatting, and you're going over there for, say, lunch. I'm just setting a scene. And the table's full of foods and chicken and vegetables, and I'm just making this up, turkey, pudding, whatever you've got. So treat foods and other foods. And you look at it and think, oh my goodness, I can't wait to tuck in, but how am I going to navigate this? There's just so much. It can be really overwhelming. When you go to eat, you can take your plate, and we want to put half the plate as what you'd normally eat from a protein perspective. Want to take some turkey, or if it's ham, or if it's chicken, or if it's seafood, some great protein, a bit of the vegetables, a bit of something that's really lovely, and that's half your plate. And on the other half of that plate is some of the treat foods. What do you look at on the table and think, I love that. That is Thanksgiving for me, that is celebration, that is birthday for me, that is holiday, Christmas for me, or whatever it is. That is exactly what you love and you love it. And I want you to put a small amount of that on the other side of the plate. And that is your meal. And then you can eat nice and slowly, small bites, chew well, enjoying every bite, really enjoying your meal, and stop when you're satisfied and you've done. So first you have some protein. So you want to have at least maybe a good amount and half of the protein you've put on there, and you're plating up an amount roughly that will sit well for you and is enough to eat. But you're having at least half of that protein before you have your celebration food. The reason why we want to put protein with your celebration food, with your treat food, is that when we just have treat and celebration foods, they are often high energy, high sugar, high fats. They won't keep you satisfied for as long. So you might have even a small amount of something and you think, great, I've only had a small amount. But in about an hour, you can feel like you need to eat again. When we put a celebration food, ideally with some protein, and we make sure we get some of that protein first, we're eating it slowly, enjoying the protein, and we know we're going to have some of that celebration food. Every bite we really enjoy. We stop when we're satisfied. You've got protein in the tummy as well as that celebration food. You're going to feel satisfied for longer and not need to eat soon after, okay? So this is a really key strategy around how do we get some of that celebration food into your meal and that event and really enjoy it. Now tell me, is this you? You have had your bariatric surgery and you're feeling lost, you're lacking support and you don't know what to eat and when. Or you may have noticed after your surgery, your hunger and cravings have started to return and you are scared you won't reach your goals. You may have had some weight regain and you want to stop the weight regain and lose some more weight. You may be pre-surgery and you want support to be fully prepared for your weight loss surgery journey. If any of these sound like you, then listen up. I have developed my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp just for you. My coaching program provides education, coaching and community for people getting ready for their weight loss surgery and at every stage after their surgery. There are 4 key areas that I focus on with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp. One is the Bariatric Nutrition Basics. You will learn what and how to eat so you feel satisfied, reach your protein and fluid goals and have less cravings, and know how to manage your hunger in the future. Meal ideas and meal planning. You'll learn to plan meals and snacks that you like, so you have great options on hand when it comes time to eat. Also, we focus on mastering weight regain habits, identifying any habits that are stopping you from reaching your goals and create manageable strategies to get back on the straight and narrow so you can manage your weight for the rest of your life. And also, I focus with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp on learning to trust your body and food. Start to enjoy your food again by relearning to listen to your body cues so you have less guilt and improve your relationship with food and your body. If you are ready to maximize your weight loss surgery results, feel confident in your journey and be led with support and expert guidance, then the Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp is for you. If you would like to know more about my coaching program, check out the link in the show notes. If the event is going over to a friend's place and there's just treat and celebration food, if you have a great high protein snack or something with you, you can have a bit of that protein that you've brought with you and then have some of that treat food, okay? So usually that day you want to eat regularly, you're going to someone's place, say mid-afternoon, just making it up, and there's going to be something there and you have a sense of what's going to be there. You can say, well, look, that's my afternoon snack time. I'm going to take some nice high protein something with me, have some of that, then I can have a small amount of that treat celebration food with my friends, with my family, and that's my afternoon snack. So it's a bit more around thinking ahead, being prepared and not going into those events vulnerable. And vulnerable is when you are at a cellular level really hungry and it's really impossible to make great decisions because your body's going to drive you to have the highest energy foods. It really does. It knows which foods are the higher energy and it says, we want you to survive. We want to keep you fed. Let's get some of those foods. And also, we've all had that example or that experience of thinking, I am hungry and I'm going to start eating, and you just can't eat slowly. Your body is like, get it in. We really need food. So we don't want to be vulnerable like that when we go into these situations and when we go to these celebrations over the holidays. And my third tip or strategy to focus on over the holidays is to keep activity up. And let me talk a bit about why. And it's not about weight loss, and I'm using air quotes. It's not about weight loss. As I mentioned in kind of the first tip or strategy, number one is keeping your normal schedule. When we go on holidays or we have time off and all of that, our schedule can go out. And what also follows is our activity schedule. And holidays can be stressful. They can bring up lots of emotions. Moving your body and being active is a wonderful way to feel better, to manage negative emotions, to help reduce stress, to help sleep and feel more positive. And so keeping active over the holiday period can be a really wonderful thing to do as an act of self-care to keep yourself in your zone. When you move your body, it helps us feel our body and move out of all the emotions and thoughts in our head and kind of feel our body and kind of keep a bit more connected. And the holidays can really throw us out. So the third one is not a nutrition kind of diet strategy. It is a self-care, move the body strategy. And it can be really wonderful to do. And you could even think about what types of activities am I doing on my holiday, and can we bring more activity into those things that we're doing with family and friends? And then you're doing it with your family and friends, and that's a wonderful thing to do. So having weight loss surgery is not about being on a diet. It's about healthy habits and self-care, and the strategies and learning how to manage these year and parts of life is really important, because you then feel confident that how to manage your self-care and eating over these periods. So it's about balance, it's not about restriction, and also to keep in mind, these are about short periods of time mostly for most people. It's not about weeks and weeks and weeks, they are short few days holiday or short periods, and it's what we do most of the time that counts. So to recap, the holidays can be stressful for a whole range of reasons for people. And I'm talking about when the eating becomes stressful, we lose enjoyment from those holiday periods and those catch-ups and all the lovely things that we do over the holidays. So these three key kind of tips or strategies about keeping things really simple, listening to the body, and staying in your zone while, or whatever words work for you, on track, in your zone, whatever resonates for you, while you enjoy your holidays. Number one is to keep in that normal schedule. And that's where reminders and physical and auditory reminders can really help keep you in that zone, in that schedule, and help you plan ahead and make sure you're eating regularly and you're taking things with you when you're on the go. Number two, having some of that protein food, having some great lean protein with your celebration food to really enjoy that celebration food, really enjoy your meal, but with that protein food, it's going to keep you sustained and satisfied for longer. And number three is about keeping activity up and in your diet over the holiday period where kind of everything kind of goes out of whack, so to speak. Keeping active, because it can really help you manage stress, improve sleep, feel better, and stay positive and connected in your body. So thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I say this at the end of every podcast that I have. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate the support. I hope you find value and you can pull out, even if it's one thing that you pull out and you try and you think, okay, that's going to be really helpful. That makes me really happy because I am here to support you in your bariatric journey, and I love sharing my knowledge and experience. If you do find value in my podcast, I would love a rating, I'd love a review, and if you want to jump into Instagram and say hello, you can find me there. So once again, thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to being back in your ears next week. Bye for now.